Hi, this is Bill, and you are on Finest Travel Beat with Angela and Bill. Sadly, today is going to be our last episode on our 12-night British Isles cruise with a stay in London before and after. In today's video, we're going to talk to you about disembarking the Regal Princess in Southampton, our trip back into London, our Sunday in London, including some Sunday roast and seeing a show on the West End, and also show you the hotel we stayed in, which is probably the nicest room or the coolest room that Angela and I have ever stayed in. So sit back, relax, and we hope you enjoy this video and get some good information for your potential trip to London or cruise for the British Isles. Thank you so much for watching. We hope you've been enjoying this series on our British Isles cruise and the Regal Princess. If you haven't seen the videos so far, definitely go back and check them out. We have information on just about every port that we were on. Now, I'm not going to lie, today was an absolute bummer of a day having to get off this ship. It was an amazing 12-night cruise. We were pretty tired. It was very, very port-intensive, long days in the port. You can see all the things that we did throughout this cruise. It was absolutely amazing. Now, the disembarkation process was very smooth. We left the terminal and were able to get right into buses, loaded up on the buses for our return trip to Victoria Coach Station. It was about 2 hours away, I would say. It was Sunday morning. Traffic was not bad at all. A very smooth process. From Victoria Coach Station, we took a taxi to our hotel, which was not far from Big Ben. We will show you that hotel at the end of the video. Absolutely incredible. But basically, we just dropped our bags off there because being that it was Sunday and we got back into London in time, we were able to catch some of the changing of the guard ceremony, as you can see here. After we dropped our bags off, we hit the ground running. We walked across Westminster Bridge, up the Birdcage Walk, to catch the ceremonies at the Wellington Barracks. As you can see, we got an excellent view of part of the changing the guard ceremony. Now, if you watched our first video, you'll understand that there are numerous places where the changing the guard ceremony takes place. It's not just in front of Buckingham Palace. In fact, you can see very, very little in front of Buckingham Palace due to sight lines, and then also that there are so many people there. So I highly recommend, if you want to see the changing of the guard, do some research. There's other videos out there that do actually a better job than we do. But if you go to one of these places like Wellington Barracks, you can really get a feel for how the ceremony goes, and then also watch the marching up and down Birdcage Walk and the various other places as they go to the palace for the change and then back. Now, we had a very full day planned. We were able to watch the changing of the guard ceremony, which we didn't think we would have time to make. But when we looked at the time and saw we would get back into London in time, we were like, you know what? If we have the opportunity to see it again, we're definitely going to do this. After the ceremony was over, we decided to take a walk up towards Buckingham Palace and see the Diana, Princess of Wales Memorial Walk. The Princess Diana Memorial Walk is a 7-mile circular walking trail in central London dedicated to Diana. It passes by Buckingham Palace and other major landmarks associated with her. As you can see, the plaque that we saw there was the one closest to Buckingham Palace. The footage you see here is people walking mainly away from the palace and us walking towards the palace. Now, if you follow any of our travels at all, you know we like to be where other people aren't. So this was actually a perfect time. In our first days in London, believe it or not, we didn't have a chance to get up and see Buckingham Palace up close. So this was our opportunity to do so. Also, while they do offer tours of Buckingham Palace, we did not do it. We were only there for a few days. We would like to get back. And obviously, you have to prioritize the things that you would like to see. Now, for those of you that didn't see our first videos of this series, London is a fairly walkable city. It is large. The subway system is pretty simple to use, or shall I say the tube. Subways are actually pedestrian underpasses and not a train in London. The weather was fantastic when we were there, so we mainly walked, and we also did use the hop-on, hop-off bus, which would help us if we need to get kind of from one tourist area to the other. On a walk back from Buckingham Palace, as well as seeing some tourist sites, there was a couple of things we wanted to do while we were there. One was to catch a play on the West End. Angela and I are lucky enough to have been born and raised in New York City and saw numerous plays on Broadway. And seeing a play on the West End was kind of bucket list for us. We did see an excellent play. You'll see that a little bit later on. We'll also discuss a little bit about Sunday roast. If I was to do this over again, we probably would have cut the morning at Buckingham Palace a little bit shorter and then gone for our quote-unquote dinner more around noon or 1 o'clock. We'll show you our Sunday roast, and I'll talk about that a little bit more in a couple of minutes. Now, the weather today was a little bit more typical of London weather. It was a drizzle, not a heavy rain. It was a little cloudy most of the day. The first few days we had absolutely beautiful weather, but we came prepared. We had a small foldable umbrella and light jackets that covered us that we didn't get rained on. The play we saw was Mamma Mia, and this was an absolutely amazing experience. Everything you go into in London is just old, and when I mean old, I don't mean it in a bad way. I mean things are ornate. The staircases, the woodworking, the architecture. It's really, there's just such a sense of history. You walk into these theaters and you think of, who has been in here, who has performed here. Now, obviously, we can't show you the performance itself, but I'll show you a little bit of where we sat. We purchased our seats in advance. Highly recommend booking those as soon as possible. Theaters in London are not large. They are fairly small. Angela saw Mamma Mia on Broadway, saw it on the West End, and she said it was every bit as good. Now, here's where things got a little bit tough with our Sunday roast. For those that aren't familiar, Sunday roast is a traditional classic. Basically, it's a roast beef dinner with mashed potatoes and the fixings. Very traditional in London. We had it before we went and had some trouble finding one, and now we did as well. While we had reservations at a restaurant, the reservations were after the play, and unfortunately we sat down, they were sold out, so we had to find another restaurant that had it left. So they only make a certain amount per day, and then once it's out, it's out. After the play and Sunday roast, we decided to head back to the hotel and enjoy our stay at the Marriott London County Hall. The County Hall is on the banks of the Thames. It's located right next to the London Eye and has spectacular views of the Thames, of Westminster Bridge, and of Parliament and the Elizabeth Tower, better known as Big Ben. The County Hall was completed just over 100 years ago, officially opened by King George V and Queen Mary as headquarters of the local government in London. It's now the site of a spectacular hotel, which you'll see a little bit of here, the lobby, and we'll show you our room in a couple of minutes. But I can't say enough about how great this hotel was. The service was fantastic. 5-star service from beginning to end. The people there couldn't be nicer or more helpful. Now, Angela and I stay almost exclusively at Marriott hotels, and we got this room at a pretty decent rate we used a lot of points. And because of our status, we were able to get it discounted, but normally we would not be able to stay in this room. This, you'll see here, it's just absolutely fantastic. The only bad thing about it is that we were only able to stay here for overnight, and we had an early flight the next morning. Now, as we show you around the room, just fantastic. You can see it for yourself. One thing I'll mention is we like staying a night after the cruise. One, this way we get our choice of flights. We get a little bit of a rest. And then also it gives us the opportunity to bring all of our luggage back to the hotel, sort it out, make sure we don't have liquids and stuff like that in our carry-on bags, and just kind of get ourselves settled, make sure the weight is good on everything. It makes it a much easier flight home if we don't try to do it all in one day. As we show you the rest of the room and wait for the most spectacular view we've ever had in a hotel, real quick, just like to ask you to hit like if you're getting value out of this video. Hopefully you've enjoyed the rest of the series. If you have, let us know in the comments below what you would like, what you would change. Also, please consider subscribing. This way you get notified, you won't miss any of our future videos, and it also tells YouTube to show our videos to more people, so it really helps us out. And here was the highlight of our stay at the County Hall. There's actually a small balcony that you can step out in. As soon as I figure out how to open it up, the switch, you can step out into, and you literally are right next to London Eye. There's a little chair, there's a table, we can have coffee. Amazing, amazing views of the Thames right from our hotel. And there it is, Westminster Bridge, the Parliament Houses, the Elizabeth Tower with Big Ben. We heard Big Ben every time it chimed. Pretty much got up out of bed on a regular basis if it was close, just to kind of see to hear it and just to experience it. Just to wrap up, to let you know how we got home, we took a taxi from the hotel to Gatwick Airport. It was a 45-minute ride, and we probably got to the airport a little bit earlier than we needed to, but we really enjoy just kind of getting to the airport and getting checked in through security and taking care of things. The hotel staff could not have been more helpful. They were absolutely amazing. Again, I highly recommend any Marriott brands for your future travels. I'm not going to lie, I think I've really enjoyed doing these videos as much as actually experiencing London. It was such a spectacular, spectacular trip. Ireland, Scotland, England, France. It was two of the most amazing weeks we had. We hope you've enjoyed these videos. We hope you've gotten value out of it. We hope that it's helped you with your London trip. We've watched many videos before we went there and planned a lot of things out, and we learned so much from fellow YouTubers that have really good content and really help people out. Now, again, we have a ton of videos on the channel, cruise ships, port reviews. We did a cruise, also a Mediterranean cruise out of Rome that went to Greece and to Malta and ports in Italy, Sicily. I'm working on that series very shortly, so if you're interested in doing that, you might want to subscribe to the channel as well. But again, we really hope you've enjoyed this, and on behalf of Angela, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you on the next adventure. Bye-bye, everybody.